Hello, my positively inspired family, and welcome to the Get Positively Inspired podcast. Each week, we dive deep into a single topic about how we can make our lives more joyful, focused, and peaceful. We break this topic into 2 episodes, so there is plenty of time to explore every part of it. Today, we're beginning part 1 of our exciting journey into mindfulness in the workplace, enhancing focus and productivity. Now, let's imagine you're sitting at your desk. Papers are piling up, emails keep coming, and your phone is buzzing nonstop. Sounds familiar, right? In this hustle and bustle, where do we find a moment of peace? A moment just for ourselves. That's where mindfulness comes in. It's like a quiet, calm friend sitting next to us, helping us through the busy day. Mindfulness, simply put, is paying full attention to what's happening right now without wishing it were different. It's enjoying the good moments and not getting too upset during the tough times. It's like when you're eating your favorite food and really focusing on how yummy it tastes. Or when you're listening to a friend and really hearing what they're saying, not just waiting for your turn to talk. In our workplaces, being mindful can help us in so many ways. It can reduce the feeling of being stressed, help us concentrate better, and even make us more creative. Have you ever felt so overwhelmed at work that you couldn't think straight? I've been there, but practicing mindfulness has personally helped me, and I've seen it help many others to feel calmer and more in control. I remember working with a team that was always rushing to meet deadlines. They were stressed and often argued, making mistakes because they were so hurried. We started doing short mindfulness exercises right there in their office, just 3 minutes to start their day. At first, they were a bit hesitant. How could just 3 minutes help? They wondered. But in a few weeks, they noticed changes. They felt more relaxed, worked together better, and found creative ways to solve problems. Amazing, isn't it? So, how do we bring this mindfulness magic into our own workday? Well, we start small, but think big. It can be as simple as taking a deep breath before responding to a challenging email, or taking a moment to notice how our feet feel on the ground while standing at the printer. It's these little moments of awareness that start adding up to big changes. In this episode, we're going to explore more about what mindfulness is, how it can help us, especially at work, and some easy ways to start bringing it into our day. So, let's get ready to make our workday not just less stressful, but also more enjoyable and productive. Let's explore what mindfulness really means. Think of it as a special kind of attention where you notice what's happening right now without wishing it were different. Imagine you're using a magnifying glass to look at your thoughts and feelings, but instead of judging them, you're just curious and kind about what you find. Mindfulness isn't just a nice idea, it's backed by science. Our brains are amazing. They can change based on what we do regularly. When we practice mindfulness, it's like we're exercising our brains to be better at staying calm and focused. This brain training helps us deal with stress more easily and keeps our minds sharp. It's a little bit like how lifting weights builds muscle, except we're building up our brain. Now, why is this so important, especially at work? Work can sometimes feel like a roller coaster, right? Lots of ups and downs. Mindfulness can be like a safety belt on that roller coaster. It doesn't stop the ride, but helps you stay steady through all those twists and turns. Let me share a story about someone I worked with. She had a super busy job with emails and meetings always piling up. She felt like she was trying to drink water from a fire hose. Then she started trying small mindfulness exercises. For example, she'd take a minute to just breathe deeply before answering emails. And guess what? She began feeling less like she was drowning in tasks and more like she could handle them one at a time. You can try this too. Breathing exercises are like superpower for our brains. Just taking a deep breath in and then slowly breathing out can help us feel like we're hitting the pause button on stress. It's sometimes we can do anywhere, before a big meeting, after a long phone call, or whenever we need a quick break. Short meditations are also fantastic. You don't need any special equipment, just a few moments to be still and notice your breath or the sounds around you. It's okay if your mind wanders off. That's normal. What's great is noticing when it happens and bringing your attention back gently. This is all about giving your mind a little rest, like a cozy nap for your brain. So, remember, mindfulness at work isn't about removing all stress. It's about learning to ride the waves of work life with a bit more balance and calm. And that can make a huge difference in how we feel and how well we do our jobs. Let's dive into how mindfulness can help us focus better. Have you ever tried to concentrate on something, but your mind feels like a busy highway with thoughts zooming in and out? Mindfulness is like creating a quiet side street in your mind, where you can focus without all the noise. When we practice mindfulness, we train our brains to pay attention to one thing at a time. This might sound simple, but it's really powerful. Studies have shown that people who practice mindfulness find it easier to concentrate and do well at their tasks. It's like sharpening a pencil. The sharper it is, the better it writes. Similarly, with a sharper focus, we perform better at work. Here's what you can try: mindful listening. Next time you're in a meeting or talking to someone, try to focus entirely on what the person is saying. Imagine their words are the most important thing in the world at that moment. This helps you stay right there with them, keeping distractions away. Another fun exercise is single tasking. This means doing just one thing at a time. In our multitasking world, this might feel strange at first, but when you eat, just eat. When you read, just read. You'll likely notice more about what you're doing and do it better. Just like when you take time to notice each bite of your favorite food, it tastes even better. Now, let's look at how mindfulness can help with our emotions at work. Emotions in the workplace can be like wild horses, hard to control and sometimes running in all directions. Mindfulness helps us understand and guide these emotions, not by trapping them, but by riding along with them more wisely. Emotional intelligence is understanding our own feelings and the feelings of others. It's like having a superpower in understanding what's going on inside our heads and hearts. Mindfulness strengthens this power. It helps us notice what we're feeling without getting overwhelmed by it. For example, when you do a body scan meditation, you pay attention to each part of your body and notice how it feels: relaxed, tense, or anything in between. This helps you become more aware of how emotions show as physical sensations in your body. Another practice is mindfulness of emotions. Here, you simply notice your emotions as they come and go, like clouds in the sky. This helps you realize that emotions are just visitors. They come and go. Understanding this can make us feel less reactive and more empathetic, which means we understand and connect with others better. These practices can create a workplace where people are more understanding, patient, and connected. And when we feel understood and connected, everything at work just seems to go smoother, doesn't it? Now, let's chat about making our workplaces more mindful. Imagine a garden. For it to flourish, you need to create the right environment. Water, sunlight, good soil. Similarly, for mindfulness to grow in a workplace, the environment needs to be just right. Introducing mindfulness in team settings is like planting seeds of calm and focus. Start by sharing short, simple mindfulness exercises at the beginning of meetings. Just a minute or two to focus on our breath. It can help everyone in the room get centered and ready to work together better. It's also fantastic to create special spaces and times for mindfulness. This can be as simple as a quiet corner with some comfy chairs for people to take a mindfulness break, or setting aside regular times for the whole team to practice mindfulness together. It's like having a quiet zone in a busy city where anyone can step in to feel peaceful and recharged. Making these changes isn't easy, but it's like watering a seed. With a bit of care and time, it can grow into something beautiful that helps everyone. To deepen our understanding of mindfulness in the workplace, let's look at a couple of great books. Think of these as your roadmaps to a more mindful work life. The first one is Mindful Work: How Meditation is Changing Business from the Inside Out by David Gelles. This book is like a treasure chest filled with stories about how real businesses are using mindfulness. It's not just about sitting quietly. It's about changing the way we think and act at work. Gelles shows us that being mindful at work can make us happier and more productive. Another excellent book is The Mindful Leader: Awakening Your Natural Management Skills Through Mindfulness Meditation by Michael Carroll. This book is like a compass for anyone who wants to lead with kindness and understanding. Carroll tells us that a good leader isn't just someone who tells others what to do. A mindful leader listens, understands, and helps their team shine. By practicing mindfulness, you can discover these qualities within yourself, making you a better leader and teammate. These books aren't just for reading. Think of them as tools for building a more mindful, enjoyable, and successful work life. As we wrap up part 1 of our journey into mindfulness in the workplace, let's take a moment to remember the beautiful path we've traveled together. Think of this as sitting on a bench at the end of a lovely walk, looking back at the trail we've covered. We started by understanding what mindfulness really means, like learning the ABCs before we start reading. We explore how mindfulness is the art of being fully present and aware, not just at work, but in every part of our lives. Remember, those stories about how mindfulness changes our brains and reduces stress? It's like discovering a secret superpower we all have to make our workdays smoother and our minds clearer. Then we dived into how mindfulness helps us manage work stress. Just like a superhero learns to use their powers, we looked at real-life examples and learned simple techniques like breathing exercises and short meditations. We also discovered how mindfulness can make us better at focusing on our tasks, like a magnifying glass that helps us see things more clearly. And don't forget about the part where we learn to be more understanding and kind, both to ourselves and to others by paying attention to our emotions. Building a mindful workplace culture is like planting a garden at work, where everyone can enjoy a bit of peace and grow together. And those books we talked about, they're your maps and guides to help you explore further. Now, as we say goodbye to part 1, remember, starting small with mindfulness is perfectly fine. It's like learning to play an instrument, one note at a time. Stay consistent, and soon you'll be playing beautiful melodies. I know there are many choices out there, and I know your time is valuable. So thank you so much for deciding to spend your valuable time with me. I will continue sharing wonderful mindfulness techniques with you so we can all live more fulfilled and mindful lives together. Looking ahead, I'm excited to invite you to part 2 of our series, Implementing and Sustaining Mindfulness in the Workplace. Think of it as learning to fly a kite. That was part 1. Now, in part 2, we'll learn to keep it soaring, high in the sky, even when the wind changes. We'll recap what we've learned so far and dive deep into how we can keep this wonderful practice of mindfulness alive in our works and lives every day. So, don't forget to check out the notes where you will have the reference for the books, and stay tuned for Thursday. So, we will begin the next chapter of our adventure. Just like the first part, it's going to be a meaningful journey that will help us stay grounded, focused, and joyful, no matter where our work takes us. Until then, take a deep breath, smile, and remember, every moment is a new chance to be mindful. See you on Thursday. Live on purpose.